The world is running on debt. Not slowly, not occasionally, but structurally. Today, global debt has crossed $337 trillion, more than 3 times of the size of the global economy. In simple words, the world owes far more than it earns. And this is not accidental. Look at the biggest economies. The United States government debt at 121% of GDP. China government debt at 88%, private debt at 206%. Japan a staggering 235% of GDP. This cycle didn't start yesterday. It began in 2008 when the global financial crisis forced the governments to borrow aggressively to save their economies. Then came COVID. Stimulus packages, relief programs, healthcare spendings, and debt exploded again. But here's the twist. When the crisis ended, the debt didn't. Today, in the 6 of G7 nations, national debt is equal to or higher than their annual economic output. The US alone crossed $38.5 trillion in debt in 2025, a jump of $15.3 trillion in just 5 years. And this is one reason why the US is pushing tariffs to protect its economy and control its debt pressure. The global web gets even more interesting. The US owes China around $750 to $760 billion. Japan owes over $1.1 trillion of US debt. China's total debt stands near $18.8 trillion, with its debt to GDP ratio crossing 300%. So if everyone owes money to everyone else, where does all the money actually go? It circulates. Governments pay interest to lenders. Lenders use that money to buy more bonds. Governments borrow again. Japan's savings become loans for Saudi Arabia. Saudi capital flows to Brazil. Brazil's money returns to US bonds. This is not chaos. This is how modern global economics work. But there's a catch. If government suddenly stops borrowing, public spending collapses, business revenue fall, layoffs rise, and consumption freezes. Exactly what we saw during COVID. And over time, the burden gets heavier. A growing share of government budgets now go towards repaying debt, not building infrastructure, not creating jobs, not investing in growth. Global debt today is nearly 25% higher than pre-COVID levels. Many developing countries are already trapped in a doom loop, cutting spending on education, healthcare, and infrastructure just to service debt. So what does this mean for Indian investors? It means global markets are no longer driven by growth. They are driven by debt dynamics. When the debt bubble expands, liquidity flows. When it tightens, volatility rises. India may be a strong growth story, but it doesn't exist in isolation. In a world built on debt, the biggest risk is not slowdown, it's imbalance. And the direction of global markets will increasingly depend on how long this debt-driven system can sustain itself. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, BlinkX. It's a trader thing.
Investments in securities markets are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.